What's up, y'all? Hopefully you can hear me. It's a nice, bright, and sunny day. Listen, I just wanted to come on here, have a quick little chat. Um, First, I want to start by saying, the best way to be heard is to listen. And, especially in regards to relationships are the cornerstone of our emotional well-being. Providing companionship, support, and love and stuff like that. However, like any other delicate ecosystem, they can be vulnerable to external factors that can erode their foundation. And so, what I want to, in this video, I just want to delve into the four critical elements that often lead to the dimmest of relationships and provide a few insights into how to address and overcome those challenges. So, basically, first, according to psychology today, anytime that someone gets emotionally triggered, we tend to lean towards protecting ourselves instead of connecting and trying to understand the message. Okay, they actually say that even without a threat to our lives, when we are emotionally triggered and in our relationships, we go into our fight, flight, or freeze response, which can actually look like a verbal attack, verbal attacks, avoiding issues, or even feeling helpless. Some people will actually feel helpless. And when we lean toward connecting with others, even when we go into this type of protection mode, the better chance we have of repairing our relationship. So, in psychology today, they actually believe family relationships are essential, although they can be real challenging and hard to manage. So I just wanted to talk about it because me personally, I believe that, some people are just simply hard to get along with no matter what you try to do. They're just, they're just really hard to deal with. Now, this information I'm about to share can both apply to family or romantic relationships. So, the feeling of being cared about is a really important part of human connection in general, right? So, when it comes to relationships, communication is the beginning of understanding. It entails more than just, sending and receiving messages. That's really what communication is. Communication really matters when it comes to personal relationships and family identity. And because as we communicate, we co-create relationships in our own identity, so to speak. So if you think about your close relationships and your family, you'll likely recall important events, whether they were either positive or negative, that impacted how you understand your relationship with them and yourself as a person. So again, as I was saying, toxic criticism is one of the first indicators that needs to be addressed in any relationship. It could be any type of relationship. It doesn't matter. So the problem with communication these days is simply that many people fail to empathize with other people, the other person. So let's talk about communication breakdown. So we have in communication breakdown. Effective communication is the bedrock of any successful relationship. You have to learn how to be able to communicate properly. And when communication starts to stall, misunderstandings arise and emotions go unheard and blah, blah, blah. And that's where the whole thing just falls and it drops. So over time, this can lead to resentment and distance between two partners or whatever the relationship is. It starts to bring distance, and I don't know, like regular, open, and honest conversations are important to actually bridge gaps, and just to make sure that both people feel heard and they both feel understood. Everybody wants to feel like they're understood and like they're heard. I don't care who you are. If you're a human and you're communicating with another, person, you want to feel heard and understood at some point, or I don't know. Anyways, y'all, there's bugs in here. Bugs flying around my head is giving me the cooties. All right, y'all, I had to switch it up real quick. But yeah, as I was saying, people want to be heard. A relationship without good communication, it just can't work. I don't care if it's with a family member or your partner. Building a relationship with good communication, okay, it's not easy. But as John Powell said, communication works for those who work at it. So a relationship consists of two people, and both parties must be willing to communicate better with each other in order for things to go right, especially if you want to be understood and you want to feel heard. And so I hope you guys can hear me. I think my volume is up, but and I just feel like this was something to talk about. And it's not just about talking, it's your tone. Now, I know sometimes I need to work on my tone, and I'm working on it. I work on it all the time, but good relationships just don't happen either. You basically create them. It has to be created. Let's face it, like we are all lousy communicators, right? So to me, the biggest communication problem is that we do not listen to understand. We're always listening to reply. That's what most people do. They're listening, thinking about what they're going to say next. Everyone is just always trying to, just get their point across. And I think we should slow down. Relationships would go so much better if people would start to digest what they're saying instead of being so quick to respond. And like so much of how we communicate comes from our emotional body and our body language. Definitely our body language. I took psychology, and body language has more to do with communication than any words. Okay, so effective communication is 1% about what you think and then 99% about what you feel. And it's not what you say, but the meaning, and it's the feeling behind the words that you choose. And I'm assuming the words that you're hearing too. If you are speaking from the energy of your heart, your words have, more of a better chance of being received and understood. If you're speaking from like frustration, impatience, anger, or from your overactive mind, chances are your words won't even be received, and the other person will get defensive instead. Getting all defensive, taking it personal, which is why most communication is really not that effective. It's just not. And then another problem with communication is that people, they just assume that what was said was automatically understood when that's not always the case. You know what I mean? That's not always the case. Assuming things in a conversation is, really one of the worst things that you could do. It's like you have to have a fresh and a curious mind when it comes to communication. But it's hard. You have to work your way to that place. People may hear your words, but they feel your energy and your attitude way more. And, professionals who have actually studied communication have said that communicating from your head can create drama, and communicating from your heart can create more transformation. And so I don't know if it just takes practice. When it comes to communicating, most people simply don't feel heard and they don't feel understood. The bottom line really is we've got to get better at communicating. Everybody's trying to get better at doing everything else. And you may be wondering too, like, how can I even do that? Well, you can start by communicating from your heart and not the craziest of your mind. I'll work on it too, trust me. And because lack of trust, there's lack of trust. Trust is the glue that actually holds relationships together. Besides communicating properly. Without it, doubts, suspicions begin to creep in, causing insecurities and anxiety and stuff like that. And trust can start to crumble by dishonesty, betrayal, or even consistent small lies. That's how it all starts. Having bad trust. And then you got to rebuild the trust, and that's going to require transparency, consistency, and a genuine effort to show that you can be relied upon. Because like lying is one of the most basic and number one things that breaks trust. And I can't stand liars. Like, it's so annoying. Well, really, infidelity, lies, and broken promises are like so. Now, in the case of romantic relationships, the biggest thing like couples do to kill intimacy in their relationship is failing to schedule time for it, because sometimes it doesn't always just come natural. People are busy, people got their own stuff going on. You'll put your relationship in jeopardy if you keep ignoring the signals like for attention from your partner, stuff like that. Getting upset when your partner brings up an issue to you, or using like some insensitive nonverbal communication cues like eye rolling, looking away, looking up and down, or other dismissive cues is really bad, or it can be taken the wrong way. So also, even family members who experience this type of communication breakdown, it's like those type of looks I just named, you already are, miscommunicating just with those cues. Like a few clues to help you recognize if you might be dealing with some trust issues. With anybody, like, well, when I was in college, I learned that distrust goes through a few phases, and those phases are defensiveness, disengagement, and disenchantment. And disenchantment basically shows up as like a feeling of disappointment about someone or something that you previously respected or admired. Broken trust will usually make you feel like some type of anxiety and resentment, because you're thinking you're not the priority anymore. You know what I mean? So you may feel like your partner isn't telling you everything, or it just might seem like there is much you really don't know about him or her, and that they're unwilling to share it with you. That's a big red flag. That's a big red flag. And the third thing is like neglecting emotional intimacy. Now, intimacy goes beyond physical connection. Emotional intimacy is equally crucial. And, y'all see me look around when I'm out in public, I'm always making sure I keep my eyes peeled on, and, just checking my surroundings and stuff. But like I was saying, when partners stop sharing their feelings, their dreams, vulnerabilities, I can't say it right, the emotional bond actually starts to weaken. It weakens. And this is what you don't want to get to, because over time, this can lead to one or both of y'all just feeling emotionally distant and really like disconnected. And trying to develop like emotional intimacy requires like really being transparent, spending quality time together, engaging in meaningful conversations, and just basically showing genuine interest in each other's lives. And then, like, I don't know, like failure to adapt and grow. There's people that fail to adapt. It's normal for people to change and evolve over time. But, like, I would say a relationship that remains static while the individuals within it change is at risk of crumbling. So, like, if you really truly care about the person, then you shouldn't even want to start growing in two different directions in the first place. You shouldn't even want that to happen. Because nurturing a relationship involves adapting together, supporting each other's, personal growth, and finding common ground even as you evolve as an individual. Well, as individuals. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. But I just want to say again, nurturing a healthy and fulfilling relationship demands constant effort and attention. And by recognizing and addressing those four relationship killers, those are basically relationship killers, okay? Which is like a major communication breakdown. So lack of trust, neglecting emotional intimacy, and failure to adapt. You can really secure the foundations of your partnership. And, basically just remember that every relationship has its challenges, but with open communication, trust building, emotional connection, and a commitment to growth, you can navigate those pitfalls. You can navigate all these pitfalls and create a lasting, more loving bond with anyone that you're in relation or connection with. I mean, it's just that simple. Well, actually, it's not that simple. It requires work. But now, when it comes to building trust in family relationships, realize that trust is built and strengthened by small positive moments. And you got to stop talking behind their back and smiling in their face. A lot of people stop talking behind the back and smiling in their face, cheating to win. Take accountability for your own actions. And, you got to stop throwing them under the bus. Making them seem important, but not showing it in your deeds goes along with it. Rebuilding trust with a family member, it takes some communication. This ain't just for romantic relationships. So remember, no relationship is immune to challenges. All right? It's time to get over the challenges. All right? Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe down and below. Till next time, bye. Peace.